Steve Jobs, a visionary leader who changed the world. Today we will know about Steve Jobs. Who is Steve Jobs? Steve Jobs was born February 24, 1955 in San Francisco, California, to Joanne Schiebel and Abdul Fattah Jandali, but he was adopted as an infant by Paul and Clara Jobs, a working-class couple. He grew up in Mountain View, a town in California that would eventually become the heart of Silicon Valley. As a child, Jobs displayed an early interest in electronics, thanks in part to his father, who introduced him to tinkering with gadgets in their garage. Despite his intellectual curiosity, Jobs was a rebellious student who often found formal education uninteresting. After graduating from Homestead High School in 1972, he enrolled at Reed College in Portland, Oregon. However, he dropped out after just 6 months, although he continued attending creative classes like calligraphy, which would later influence Apple's design aesthetics. Founding of Apple. In 1976, Jobs co-founded Apple Computer with his friend Steve Wozniak in the Jobs family garage. At the time, personal computers were seen as complex machines for hobbyists, but Jobs had a different vision. He believed that computers should be simple, user-friendly, and accessible to the masses. Their first product, the Apple I, was a rudimentary circuit board, but it was the Apple II, launched in 1977, that brought the company its first major success. The Apple II became one of the first highly successful mass-produced microcomputers, and it established Apple as a leader in the burgeoning tech industry. The Macintosh and early success. In 1984, Jobs introduced the Macintosh, the first commercially successful personal computer with a graphical user interface, GUI. The Macintosh was revolutionary, not just because of its user-friendly design, but also because of Jobs' visionary marketing. The famous 1984 Super Bowl ad, directed by Ridley Scott, positioned Apple as a rebellious force against the conformity of IBM's dominance in the computer industry. Despite its innovation, the Macintosh struggled commercially at first, and tensions between Jobs and Apple's CEO, John Sculley, escalated. In 1985, Jobs was forced out of the company he had co-founded, a pivotal moment in his career. Next, Pixar and the return to Apple. After leaving Apple, Jobs founded Next, a computer platform development company aimed at higher education and business markets. Although Next's computers were technologically advanced, they were too expensive for mass adoption. However, the software developed at Next would later become the foundation for Mac OS, Apple's modern operating system. During this period, Jobs also bought the graphics group, which later became Pixar Animation Studios. Under his leadership, Pixar produced the first fully computer-animated feature film, Toy Story, 1995, which became a major hit. Pixar's success solidified Jobs' reputation as a visionary beyond the tech industry. In 1997, Apple acquired Next, bringing Jobs back to the company. Upon his return, Apple was struggling, but Jobs quickly turned things around. His bold vision and innovative leadership led to the development of groundbreaking products, starting with the iMac in 1998, which brought Apple back to profitability. The iPod, iPhone, and iPad. Steve Jobs' second tenure at Apple is marked by the creation of the i-series, which transformed not just the company, but the entire world. iPod 2001. The iPod revolutionized the music industry, allowing users to carry their entire music library in their pockets. It became an instant cultural phenomenon. iPhone 2007. Perhaps Jobs' most iconic creation, the iPhone redefined the smartphone market, combining a phone, iPod, and internet communicator into a single device. It changed the way people interact with technology and laid the foundation for the modern mobile ecosystem. iPad 2010. The iPad opened a new category of mobile devices, bridging the gap between smartphones and laptops. It showcased Jobs' continued drive to innovate and create products that consumers didn't even know they needed. Leadership style and legacy. Steve Jobs was known for his demanding, sometimes abrasive leadership style. He pushed his teams to their limits, expecting nothing less than perfection, and his obsessive attention to detail was central to Apple's success. Jobs believed in controlling both the hardware and software of his products, ensuring a seamless user experience. His mantra, "Stay hungry, stay foolish," encouraged thinking outside the box and continuous innovation. Jobs' focus on design, simplicity, and user experience helped Apple become one of the most valuable companies in the world. His influence extended beyond technology. He shaped the way people communicate, entertain themselves, and engage with information. His work at Pixar also transformed the animation industry, ushering in an era of highly successful and beloved films. Health battles and final years. In 2004, Jobs was diagnosed with a rare form of pancreatic cancer, and although he initially managed the illness privately, his health struggles became increasingly public over the years. He underwent a liver transplant in 2009 and took multiple medical leaves from Apple. In August 2011, Jobs resigned as CEO of Apple, passing the reins to Tim Cook. Just a few weeks later, on October 5th, 2011, Steve Jobs passed away at the age of 56. His death was met with an outpouring of tributes from around the world, with many recognizing him as one of the greatest innovators of his time. Legacy and impact. Steve Jobs' legacy endures not only through the products he helped create, but also through the companies he built and the industries he transformed. Apple continues to be a dominant force in the tech world, and Pixar remains a leader in animated film. More broadly, Jobs' life story has inspired generations of entrepreneurs and creators to challenge the status quo and pursue their visions with passion and persistence. Jobs' philosophy that technology should serve as a bridge between humanity and art remains deeply embedded in Apple's DNA. He will forever be remembered as a visionary who, despite personal and professional challenges, changed the way the world works, communicates, and thinks about technology. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Steve Jobs. This biography offers just a glimpse into Steve Jobs' incredible journey, but his influence will undoubtedly be felt for generations to come.